Building trust between community and police. That was the topic here at the council, with a discussion between the council and Chief Manger, who says forging these relationships is critical.
So now we're going to turn to a discussion with our Chief of Police. Chief Manger, please come forward. Every week there is some new and very, very disturbing information that comes to light generally about mistreatment of African Americans by police officers. African Americans generally feel that they are viewed unfairly and in a manner that is not representative of their character. But I also know that a great deal of learning and discussion is going on within our police department. Chief Manger and some of the assistant chiefs as well have been in a very active dialogue with the community. And I know that you're working very, very hard to ensure that Montgomery County does not experience the kinds of events that we've seen in communities like Ferguson.
I've been a cop for 38 years, and I will tell you things are much better today than what they were when I started as a police officer in 1977. 30 years ago, the officers involved in the shooting, the chances of it being on somebody's video were pretty slim. And so you had, and whether it was a shooting, whether it was just any use of force, whether it was an interaction of any kind with the police, it was very rare that anybody had, that the rest of the public could ever see it. Well, we've been having this discussion with our police officers for years about, that they just need to assume that people are watching and that they should behave accordingly.
Chief Manger, explain to us what I'm holding here, this diagram. This is the camera. How does it work? The council recently approved a pilot program for police body cameras that was initiated by Chief Manger himself.
We talk about body-worn cameras, but I will tell you that the pilot started yesterday.
I find the Montgomery County Police Department to be fairly forward-thinking.
Councilmember Mark Elridge chairs the Public Safety Committee. He says he believes Montgomery County Police are progressive in their approach to training.
I approached the police department about body cameras, and at the very moment I approached them, they said we're already working on it. And I think that's important to know that this is coming actually out of the police department, that they see the need for it and recognize the need to do something.
We have asked for 80 volunteers, 80 police officer volunteers. I already have 20. I'm one of the 20, and I have 19 other executives who have volunteered. I'm confident in my team that that we are going to continue to do the right things and continue to work. And even when mistakes do happen, even when tragic things do happen, you can count on us to do the right thing.
On the specific issue of race, how do you get officers intellectually to understand that you cannot provide differential service based on an individual's appearance?
We talk about those issues all the time, but really the bigger way to address this is teaching people the law. If you police according to the Constitution, you shouldn't be making these mistakes.
You said something about if officers followed the law. The law allows for a lot of flexibility. And many folks will tell you that they've been through these kinds of situations where they've been legally and lawfully stopped, but it still wasn't something that they should have done.
Believe me, we have made legal stops that people have complained about for the rest of their lives and looked at as a bad experience. One of the ways that you can approach that is to explain the stop. It may help, it may not, but at least you just take 10 seconds to explain why you stop the person.
The key, he says, is training officers how to de-escalate a situation before it becomes a tragic encounter.
How is the police department doing in terms of earning and keeping the public's trust? One of the reasons that I asked Assistant Chief McSwain to bring each of the 6 district commanders here is because not only are they out many nights during the week, on weekends, they're community service officers, they're lieutenants, they have a whole staff of folks that are out in the community doing this community engagement because it is tremendously important. Every segment of the community wants to know is, are we listening to them? Are we listening to them? Do we care about the service that we're providing them? To being a fair and impartial authority that is doing the right thing.
In the meantime, Manger and his team will continue to train officers to not only be vigilant in their dealings with the public, but also to help them better understand the social fabric of the community.
None of us here want to create an atmosphere in any neighborhood, any community, any area of this county where the police are seen as just an occupying army. We only are able to be effective if we have the trust and the confidence of the people that we're serving. In 2014, last year, we took over 800,000 calls in our communications center. We had, our police officers had over 500,000 contacts, personal contacts, with members of the public in Montgomery County.
Were you a police officer before you?
Every year, we have well over 1 million opportunities to either build that public trust or damage that public trust. And so we understand that every contact we have with the public is important. Conversations that are going on here, we understand the conversations that are going on nationally, and we understand that we are only as good as our last contact with the public.
I think if we continue to make certain that our training, that the people that we're hiring, that on an ongoing basis, that we're doing the right thing, and whether someone's watching us or not, someone's always watching you, regardless of what your job is, that if we can continue to do that, that Montgomery County is going to remain the fine place that it is, and that our police force and everyone involved in public safety makes us proud. So thank you all for everything that you do.
In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.